Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about. Let's talk about. Yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host, and Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Wellness Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to chat about whatever it is we want to chat about. And today, backed by popular demand, we have Miss Sonia Benson back on, the certified sexologist. So she was on at the beginning of the month, and y'all said, we want her back. We want her back. So I got her back. So today we are talking about sex as an act of self-love and self-care. So this is going to be a good, intriguing, and interesting conversation. So tag a friend and let them know they need to be here. Like and share. Like and share now. This is an interactive live, so we fully expect to hear from you. So in the comments, if you will, let us know where you are tuning in from. We are live on Conversations with Nicole Facebook page, Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel, and on the Greater Works Network on RokuTV. This is a safe space for us to communicate with one another. And so we're going to do just that. All right. So I see folks chiming in the comments. My cousin Denise, thank you for being here. Boy, Denise be Johnny on the spot every night. Listen, from Texas, I appreciate you, sis. All right, cuz my cousin Raymond is in the house, Virginia. Got to give him a shout out real quick. Thank you for being here. And of course, Mr. Nicholas Rains, my Singles Mingle co-host. We had an interesting conversation last night about what was it? Alpha females and beta males. Do alpha women look for beta men? It was intriguing. Anyway. All right. And so we got Michael Love on here from Jacksonville. Thank you for being here. Hey, Dr. Janelle Robinson. Thank you for being here right here in Tallahassee. She is ready. All right. Behave yourself. We also have Pastel Birch, DC, and grown ass woman shit in the house. So this must be Sonia B's co-host for her podcast. Thank you for being with us, Miss Pastel. All right. Tarek Andwele, my brother in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Thank you for being here. We got Sophia Renee, Lawrenceville. Thank you for being here, sis. Long time no see. And Benicia, who is also a clinician here in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here. Miss Beverly Toombs, who's in occupational therapy and also a former guest of Conversations with Nicole, who is here in Tally Ho. So y'all tag a friend, let them know they need to be here. They need to be here because it's going to be good. Gonna be good. All right, we got Shara Thomas in DC. Thank you for being here. And probably because Sonia B is from DC, a DC connection there. So thank you. For all of the folks that are new to the platform, I invite you to like, share, subscribe to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel. We are here every Monday and Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, talking about mental health in Black and Brown communities, trying to eliminate the stigma around mental health and wellness and counseling, and encourage people to get their checkup from the neck up. All right. So while others are joining, I'm going to go ahead and read Miss Sonia Benson's bio. So Sonia B is a well-known and respected certified sexologist and intimacy coach, speaker, and group facilitator. She was in DC. Now she's in Tallahassee, We are grateful. Specializing in wellness, sexual wellness, and female orgasm. Her newest projects include the launch of an online membership, the Pleasure Club, aimed at empowering its members in the arenas of sexual and sensual wellness, and an adult play shop. Cocktails with a Sexologist that facilitates the discussion of adult topics and classes in a safe and powerful setting. She is also the co host of a weekly video podcast, Grown Ass Woman Shit, which normalizes conversations around sex, money, relationships, and self care. Sonia B can be found online at cocktailswithasexologist.com. Y'all help me welcome Sonia B.
Hey, I'm so happy to be back.
Have you back?
Yes. Thank you for the invitation. I'm glad to be back in the space.
Absolutely. All right. So
Yes.
few more people, few more folks chiming in. Dante Williams, first time viewing YouTube. Thank you for being here, Dante. We got Miss Felicia Thomas, who is an attorney here in Tallahassee. And Denise again is welcoming you. So
Oh, thank you, Denise.
all right. So for those folks who don't know you, just give us a little bit more about Sonia B, who you are, and not necessarily what you do, but who are you?
Got it. Who am I? Well, first of all, I'm from up north, so I was born in New Jersey, raised in DC, and then finished high school and college in Tallahassee. I am a rattler, uh, and but moved back to the DC area. And as you just mentioned, I'm just coming back to the Florida area. I am also a daughter, a auntie. And really an all-around lover of life and joy and pleasure. And I really love teaching. I love working with women around embracing our pleasure. So
Nice.
yes.
Nice. Very good. Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that. And again, thank you for being here. So, tell me a little bit and tell us a little bit about how you got involved with being a certified sexologist and intimacy coach.
Got it. Well, it's funny because I like to say that it's like I like to say that it's a calling, and that it actually it found me, and as opposed to it being something that I just looked for. So it wasn't something I'm like, I think I want to be a sexologist. That wasn't how that worked. It was more so one, always being a drum major for women having pleasure and enjoying sex and loving to talk about it. But in addition, I created a women's group way back in like 2000. I think it was like 2000, 2001, somewhere around there, where I just had some friends over. We were watching Sex in the City as an activity. I had folks come over and we were watching. I set up my living room like a cafe.
Mhm.
And we watched Sex in the City all day, like, waiting for the new episode to come out. But we kept pausing it to say, oh my God, my boyfriend used to do that. Or, oh my God, I know exactly what she's talking about. And in it, once we got to the end of the night, the ladies were like, this was so much fun. I wish we could do it again. Well, from that, I actually then created a group, and we got together once a month to talk about sex. And I saw people's lives transformed as a result of it.
Really?
So that was kind of like my toe in. And I didn't even realize it. To me, it was part like spirit leading me along, because I just thought I was doing something that was just a social activity for us to get together. However, we did homework, we challenged each other. We were like, oh, you only have sex in the bedroom? Well, this month your assignment is to have sex anywhere but in the bedroom. Like we were always giving each other fun assignments to do.
Okay.
So yeah. So that's where it started.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. Boy, you just never know. You just
I
gotta
know, right?
step out there and try something new.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And it just evolved from there. And it was just like one thing. I just added one thing, another thing. And then before you know it, it's like, oh, this is what I feel called to work with people about.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I see a few more folks on, so let me shout them out. I see you, Punk,
Okay.
right here in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here. And Miss Lynette right here in Tally as well in the Midway area. I appreciate you being here. All right, so let's dive in. So you came
Yes,
on
ma'am.
end of the month. We talked about female sexuality. folks liked it so much, they were like, we want her back. We want her back. So today we are talking about sex as an act of self-care and self-love.
Yes, 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 yes. And I love to bring that up whenever I'm in front of a group of women talking about it, because often we think about sex as just either procreation activity
Mhm.
or this pleasure. And then, as I mentioned to you a little earlier, it often gets a bad name because we also have it associated with shame and stuff that you shouldn't be doing, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
I'm like, but actually, do you really get that you are taking care of yourself and how many different ways it impacts you, your physical body, your mental health, your emotional health, like, all of the other ways that you actually benefit from it besides it just being about pleasure.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, I don't think that we necessarily think about it as
we
such.
don't.
Uh-huh.
No. Well, one of the biggest ways is stress release.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact that you are stressed out most of the time. I'm like, I tell women, all we have this very small toy that's looks like a lipstick that you can carry in your purse. I'm like, take it during a stressful day at work, go in the bathroom and go handle that, and then come back out so that you can talk to your boss, because sometimes you need to actually, before you actually hurt somebody. So you may need to relax, release. It's okay. I
Uh-huh.
can do this. But there are all sorts of hormones that are released whenever we have an orgasm that help to relax your mind and bring you back to a state of feeling peaceful.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we talk about endorphins and serotonin and
Yes.
all of these types of things. So this is what you're talking about, correct?
Yes, there's a huge cocktail of hormones that are released whenever you have whenever you one have sex, but also when you have an orgasm. And
Mm-hmm.
so, what Johnny said, stress release, and it is. It's like, and so there's a lot that's released, but we don't necessarily understand it, but we do know the impacts. Is you feel good,
Mm-hmm.
and often it can also, I mean, it's been hailed as a supporting you with depression, with changing your mood, with yeah, even with getting better sleep. I mean, I don't know how many of you have actually tried that, but sometimes when you're having a hard time going to sleep, you have a nice little session, whether it's with your partner or with yourself,
With
and
yourself.
then be knocked out sleeping like a baby.
Mm,
Yeah, because you even get prolactin that's released that actually helps calm you right on out. It's like,
that's
okay, let me go on to sleep.
that's better than any melatonin, huh?
E- Ex- Exactly. Exactly. In addition to the fact that you often, if you're doing it with a partner, then the connection that you might feel from the that having sex, and then the because often we downplay how much we need touch. We
Mm,
downplay the intimacy that we need and how that actually impacts how we feel.
mm.
So sometimes when we're just like almost operating like machines, like, okay, I just got to do. But where am I taking care of my needs? Where am I listening to what I need and how I need to be relaxed? How relax, almost rest and relaxation is almost like taboo in our conversation. It's like, we're always promoting what is it, hustling,
Mhm.
not so much about how do I take care of myself by resting and relaxing.
So I'm gonna slow us down because you are running right through them. But let's go back to this touch piece, right? So
Yes.
I think that um a lot of times people, touch is can people can equate touch to sex,
Mhm.
right? Touch does not necessarily have to be sexual.
It does not.
Hmm.
It does not.
And
And you
so,
can also, but you also release some of those hormones without sex being involved. So yeah, it's
mhm.
possible for that to happen. Yeah.
So I mean that could come from a massage. Hmm.
Yes.
Yes. It could come from a hug. It could, just it might even just be just being close to someone, like maybe skin to skin, but not necessarily embracing. But there's just something about that physical touch, which for some people, if that, especially if that is their love language, if you will, that it does something for them.
Yeah.
Right. I think
Right.
most human beings, period, respond to touch.
Yeah.
Right.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so much that, well, one, there's oxytocin that's released whenever we are touched, and that's considered a bonding hormone. It actually causes us to feel close and open to another person, and also a lot more open to bonding. It's also what's released during sex. It's released during when we're having babies, and it also is when we're delivering a baby, and it also is released when we are breastfeeding. So it helps us bond to the baby. So yes, oxytocin it's also considered to be a trust hormone, because it's like whenever you get the sense that somebody trusts you or kind of extends a level of trust to you, you can also release oxytocin.
Nice. I did not know
Mhm.
that. Okay.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
let me shout out a couple more people. I see you, Susan from VA. Thank you for being here. My mom is here from Miami. Thank you for being here, Ma. So listen, I'm hoping you all are catching all of this, because this is really, really important. So, somebody may have a need for touch, and she's saying this is a bonding hormone, it's a trust hormone. And so, yeah, you can't deprive somebody of that, right?
Well, I mean, and I think even beyond depriving someone else, it's looking at what your needs are. What are you depriving yourself of? And I
What
think that
else?
often I find, especially with women, we can put that on the shelf. Sometimes we can take sex and say, "Psh, I don't need that. I'm beyond that." Especially if you feel like you're not in a relationship. It's like, I don't need the benefits that come with having sexual pleasure in my life.
Mhm.
However, to me, that just blocks off a huge chunk of what ways that we can benefit from that don't necessarily have to be tied to. I think we tie it immediately to, I have to be in a relationship, or and then it's like, okay, well, and I don't know, I ain't found nobody, I don't want to, I don't want to deal with him, or whatever it is. And so because of that, it gets dismissed.
Yes.
And I think there's an opportunity to look at it not just from a relationship standpoint, but just how much is it benefiting you otherwise. I have a long list of, it burns calories, it's going to help improve your heart health,
The benefits.
because it's yes, like,
Okay.
it's good for pain relief, because of, and I don't know how many of you maybe have used it whenever you have cramps. It's really good for helping relieve, because endorphins that are released, that actually raises your tolerance for pain. So it actually helps with pain relief, and also with migraines, I mean, or headaches, or, so it lowers your blood pressure. A
So
lot of
wait a
people don't
minute.
know that.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now,
Oh,
I have heard, the whole thing about women saying, "Not tonight, honey. I have a headache." So
that's
maybe if she gave him some, the headache would go away.
maybe the headache would go away. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, but now, of course, I mean, it depends on how you approach it. Because sometimes if you're in pain, you're not trying to be bothered.
Right, right,
However, that may mean going slowly into it. Like,
Mhm.
maybe it's a massage, maybe it's some touch, maybe it's, let me see how I can massage the back of your neck and help, or maybe it's getting into a tub. But we get to see it as something that you can use to feel better, as opposed to, okay, this is just, I'm sure that maybe the way, if I have a headache and if I'm viewing sex as just a chore, yeah, I ain't trying to do that.
Right,
But
right.
if I know that it's going to benefit me and I'm going to feel better afterwards.
So I don't know about y'all, but this is the first time I've heard sex helping to relieve a headache. So I think Dante was laughing at me too about the whole thing, but it's all good. All right. So we got Sheila on here in Tallahassee, and we have Jennifer Maggie from Maryland. Thank you for being on here.
Again, from Maryland. Yes, that's one
Okay.
of my girls.
All right. We appreciate you. All right. So we're talking about the benefits: stress relief, pain relief, headache relief, lower blood pressure.
Lowering your blood pressure. Again, it's a form of exercise, but also there are studies that show that the more sex you have, then if you get into stressful situations, you're less likely to raise your blood pressure as a result of being in that stressful situation. So,
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I could get off those pills, huh? Those blood pressure
Well,
pills.
it may possibly, possibly. Now I ain't telling nobody. Okay, let's do the disclaimer. I am not a doctor, and so check in with your doctor before you
Take
get off
care
of
with your
any
doctor
pills.
before you start taking
Yes,
medicine. Yes.
exactly.
Okay.
Please do not. Yes.
Mhm.
But yeah. So and of course we haven't even touched on the fact that increasing the emotional intimacy, whether it's with your partner, but also solo sex with yourself can increase your emotional connection with yourself.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
you're being vulnerable. You're being with yourself. You're focusing on what what you enjoy or what's pleasurable to you, and you're giving that to yourself. Yes, it has
Gotcha.
been
All right. Lynette
yes, that
said
has
this is
been
the
a. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nicole.
it's okay. No, I was just saying Lynette said this is the best Wednesday night body study, not Bible study, body study of the year so far.
I love it. I love it.
Mhm. She said, throw my blood pressure pills away, shaking my head. Not
Do
yet.
not. Do
No.
not.
Talk with your doctor first.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think that, I mean, especially in our culture, we are so stressed out. And often we're just trying to power through it. And
Mm,
we're not necessarily doing the things that would support us in relaxing and feeling better. I mean, it's like sex is built in. It's like this God-given tool that was given that we have. And we're like, not necessarily going to it as often as we could to actually have ourselves be improved on all
well,
levels.
and so I'm glad we're having this conversation because, again, as you have already stated, I think it's been so taboo, and we've put it into these two boxes for procreation and in relationship with someone
Right.
outside of ourselves, and so the importance of you relating to yourself, taking care of that need. I mean, I think there's been a struggle about whether or not sex is a need or a want.
It's a need. It's in Maslow's it's on the pyramid of the hierarchy. It's on there along with air. Yes. Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
It is on the list of needs.
Air is on
Yes,
the
yeah.
need on the
Yes.
list.
I could be wrong. Somebody back me up in the
Okay,
comments.
you see y'all scholars out there,
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
researchers, y'all let us know in the comments if sex is on the hierarchy of needs.
Yes, I
Mhm.
want to say that it is, but let's see if we can. Oh, maybe I put it on the hierarchy of needs.
Yes, you did. I think that's what happened.
I
I
think it might be
think
that.
that's
Yeah,
what
no, there's
everybody's saying it's in there. They put it
okay.
in there.
They wanted to be in there too.
Oh my
Let's
goodness.
see.
All right. So Johnny said, do you and your girl still have those monthly meetings? Oh, the one that she was talking about. Yeah.
We do not.
Mhm.
However, I would love to get those started again, and that's actually part of why I brought up that's why I gave birth to Cocktails with a Sexologist,
Mhm.
because I do now get women together so we can have these conversations. That group stopped some time ago. Actually, at the time, my husband then was pressuring. Well, no, we weren't. We were dating then. He was kind of pressuring me to monetize it because at the time I was just doing it for fun. It was with me and my girls, but he was like, you should be making money, blah, blah, blah. So I tried it and I wasn't ready at that time. So it was just kind of too soon.
Mhm.
And it's funny because one of the women busted me because she said, everybody's fresh, they're frustrated, they're having challenges in their relationships because we're not having this group. So,
Mm.
because there was one woman that told me, I told you guys stuff that I'd never told anybody in my life.
Mhm.
So the level of intimacy and
Yeah.
connection that we formed, we really like bared our souls about, what we had some of the things that we had been through.
Mhm. Well, we're about to get them started in Tallahassee. So yeah.
I'm oh, see, Maslow got it. It's in there.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Everybody
in there.
saying, and then others look, Felicia said, I feel it's a need, and
It's
Sonia
a
said,
need.
Sophia rather said, it's on mine. So you don't care what
Right.
people say, it's on hers.
It's on the list. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we get to make it a priority, like breathing and eating. And, this is important.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Stop robbing your body of pleasure.
So let me ask you this. Do you think
Yes.
that, and I want the viewers to chime in on this one as well, but do you think that women have had more of an issue with maybe pleasuring themselves than men? Because I don't know, it seems a little bit more, and maybe this is just my upbringing, but a little bit more acceptable for, you hear about men, pleasuring themselves. I'll put it in that way,
Right,
that
right, right, right.
and
I
not so
get
much women. So do you think it's a little bit more taboo, or historically it's been, maybe it's a more freer now, but do you think it's
it
been a little
is.
bit more taboo for women to pleasure themselves than men?
Yes, it has. It's definitely a societal um uh suppression of women's sexuality. In a lot of ways, it's kind of like, I mean, we see the double standard. It's like, if you swing from the chandeliers and you're a man, it's like, oh, great job. That's right, go get them. And then when you do the same thing as a woman, it's just like, you get all sorts of labels
Mhm.
that you don't necessarily want to stick to you. And so, yeah, I feel that but this is where we're coming out of that. So to me, part of my work with women is to support us with experiencing freedom around sex.
Okay.
So yeah, we get to take our power back, take our pleasure back, and stop allowing society to define for you what your natural sexual expression is.
I love it. All right. Johnny said women have toys.
Yes, some women do.
Yeah.
And though some women don't because they believe that it's something that you shouldn't do. So there's still quite a few women that feel, we can feel repressed in a lot of ways. And we
Mhm.
still have ringing in your head, whether your mother, whether you heard that, good girls don't do that, or, that, only nasty women are up to that sort of stuff. Like all of those conversations that would have you say, oh, I shouldn't do this, and make you feel uncomfortable if you tried.
Indeed. So Dante he wants to know some of the symptoms that can be attributed to the need not being fulfilled. Angry Black women.
Right. We didn't heard it. And we have all said it. We've all seen somebody going off on somebody, or cursing somebody out and saying, "Oh, she just need it's just been a minute. She
You need
needs
a
to
session. Mhm.
exactly." I mean, yeah, it's being, I'm sure any I would say it's akin to anybody neglecting their own needs. That's whether it's sleep, whether it's being well nourished,
Mhm.
whether it's being cared for. We know when you're being neglected, you can see it show up in terms of how you feel about yourself and how you feel about what's going on.
Indeed. All right.
Yeah,
Let me
so probably crankiness, maybe.
crankiness. Yes. Very
Cranky, yeah.
cranky. Yes. Dante said, Lord. Oh, so we got LaCarsha Houston on here. Thank you for being here. She also concurred, right? And then Sophia said religion suppresses a lot of sexuality.
Certainly, we do sometimes experience belief systems that may or may not fit with what we want, or what we think that we should, what our natural inclination is. But yeah, in a lot of ways, that can be the case.
For sure, for sure.
Hmm.
So, okay, so I'm going back to Dante. So outside of crankiness,
Hmm.
any other symptoms that, or behaviors that can be attributed to not being fulfilled?
Hmm. Well, I mean, I think that it probably all goes in the same vein, and doesn't necessarily. It's not. It doesn't mean that that's because of a lack of sex. It could be a lot of other attributing factors. But I
Mm,
would say maybe feeling frustrated. Um, I don't know if I'd say, like, you can't say depression is a result of not having sex, but sex does help with depression. So I think that in some ways it's not so much that you will find symptoms of
I don't know if that's far-fetched.
what's that?
Be that
Oh,
depression might be a result of not having sex. That might be.
it can be, but it's not, there are other factors that can also that can come from that can cause depression. So I don't know that I would necessarily say that there are specific symptoms. I just know that there are things that having sex will support you with, but I don't know that they would come. Lack of sex causes those. Oh,
Johnny said
weight gain. Okay,
Hmm.
again, you can gain weight from, you could be swinging from the slant chandeliers and still have weight gain.
Right.
I know
Right.
one of the things that is attributed to it, though, is a lower libido because often the more you stop when you kind of get into that slump and you stop having sex, it can
Okay.
make it harder and harder to find a drive to have sex.
Mm.
And I would say that what it's attributed to is you can use it or lose it, and that's actually real.
Oh, wow.
And so it's possible to lose the ability to orgasm. So listen up, ladies.
Really?
Yes, yes. So some of those muscles and some of it's like it just when like we have some parts of your body that you don't use enough, then then I guess your ability to do that starts to slow down or starts to become more and more challenging. So yes,
Okay.
it can be challenging, more and more challenging
See,
to
this is
have an orgasm.
the foolishness is getting right here. You mean to tell me because I'm fat? You mean to tell
I
me I'm fat because I ain't having sex?
I
Yep.
didn't say that. I
Yep.
did not say
Yes. Yeah. Yep. That's yes, ma'am. So get busy.
that. Right.
Silly.
However, it will be a good workout,
It was. Johnny
and I
just said it's a workout.
yeah, and I believe that actually connecting to your body. So in a lot of ways, we are disconnected from
Mm.
our bodies. I believe that having sex will help you. It won't guarantee that you're going to do this, but that help you come back into your body, maybe get out of your head and
Mm.
reconnect to how you're feeling, and maybe start to have more of a connection to your body.
Mm.
Because for some of us, also some of the body images and things that we have challenges with, it's because we've not fallen in love with our bodies. And I
Mhm.
believe that having more sex can support that. It doesn't mean it's automatically going to happen, but I know I went from, I don't know about you ladies, but initially when I first started having sex, you feel self-conscious. You like need to pull the covers up around yourself. You don't want your partner to see you. And to me, after a while, it was like, child, I'm feeling sexy. I feel like I'm a bad girl. So to me, I had to fall in love with my body during the process and fall in love with what the pleasure she could bring me and also what I can do with my body. So I feel
I
like that helped me to connect to myself.
I like that. I like that. Let me pause real quick. I'm
Sure.
gonna we got some comments in here too, but we're about at the halfway point. So I want to, for those of you who are just joining us, you are on Conversations with Nicole. I am on with Sonia B, certified sexologist and intimacy coach, and we are talking about sex as an act of self-care and self-love. Had Sonya be on at the beginning of the month and have brought her back by popular demand. And so we have been talking about the benefits of sex, not only with a partner, but with yourself. And so Janelle says she's been doing the wrong workouts all along.
All along,
Mm,
girl.
Listen, now you see the light. All right. Lynette says she had a friend whose diabetes was interfering with performance.
That is something that's very possible because sex involves the blood.
Mm,
And so if we're having any challenges with the blood or with blood flow, then it often can impact your ability to maintain an erection for both women and men. Because believe it or not, when women have an orgasm, your clitoris becomes erect.
mm,
So it requires that blood, that body part engorged with blood. So
mhm.
yeah, so diabetes can impact that and can impact that.
Okay. Sophia said, there's the magic word intimacy. To me, it brings flavor to everything. Hmm.
And I believe it's almost like a missing link for what we're dealing with. It can kind of like it's what ails the soul,
Hmm.
because we are so detached again, that and just almost operating on this go 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 get type of thing. And
Yeah.
social media is not helping. Like that's causing us to now become even more distant from people. And
Hmm.
then we're surprising when we're getting lost in the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lakasha says that body image always been my problem.
Hmm. Got it.
So let's flush that out a little bit, right?
Sure.
So I think, and I don't know if the men, have this issue as well, but for women, oftentimes, I think we are socialized to be attractive, right? With makeup, with hair, with clothes, and that sort of thing. And so, to me, that's really more to be pleasing to other people, not necessarily to ourselves.
Okay.
Hmm.
Got it.
So to hear LaKarsha say body image being a problem, if we are looking for approval of about for our outward appearance outside of ourselves, then we probably are going to have an issue with body image, right?
Well, yeah.
And
Well,
not also accepting our body however it is, right?
right. Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of that too is though, then we have our, and the image that we have for what our bodies get to look like is kind of morphed. So, or it's kind of, it's not in alignment with who we are. So we actually then
Mm,
see everything outside of us, especially now we have Instagram. We're seeing all of these images that say that this is what you should look like. And so
mhm.
sometimes it's not even thinking that this is what society needs me to look like. This is also what I now think I need to look like, because
Exactly.
this is what I've learned that beauty is. So, this is where we get to define your own standard of beauty. Like what, and that requires, again, falling in love with yourself.
Yes, 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 yes. And
Yeah.
so I have, and this is a moment of transparency, I have struggled with that in terms of my
Mhm.
own beauty and attractiveness. And so it has been challenging for me, even most recently, when a man might say that I'm gorgeous or beautiful, and I'm looking toe down, at least in my person, you know, in my
Right.
opinion. And so
Right.
you mean you're saying that to me, but I don't believe it of myself. So I'm not receiving it from you, right? Because I'm
Right. Yeah.
not feeling beautiful. I'm not feeling attractive. I'm not feeling sexy. Like that's one of the ones that I again, moment of transparency, I kind of struggle with because I rarely feel sexy. I mean, rarely.
Okay.
And
Got it.
so and I don't know what has to happen for me to feel that way per se. I mean, my
I think
hair,
it's a
yeah.
tap. It's not an external thing. It's a tapping into yourself sort of thing.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. It's a tapping and for, it to me, it's learning how to embrace yourself on a level that has nothing to do with what you actually look like, because we have people that are that people would consider, from a beauty standard standpoint, that they're drop dead gorgeous and they don't feel attractive. So it
Mm,
has nothing to do with what we're really looking like. It's about how we're feeling on the inside and
exactly.
how we're feeling about ourselves. And to me, that's where we get to bond and connect to yourself.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
some of that, yeah, and almost heal that relationship we have with ourselves,
Hmm. Okay.
whatever that divide is.
Indeed. So this is some work right here. Mhm.
Well, I know some of the work that I do. So beyond being a sexologist and an intimacy coach, I'm also a spiritual life coach. And so often, for women that I may have that are working with something like that, I may have them do some mirror work where you're in the mirror and
Mhm.
you are saying to yourself, "I love you."
Yes.
And initially, that is very, very uncomfortable to do. It feels awkward, but it's something that you get work past those uncomfortable feelings so that you can start to appreciate and love who you are.
Indeed.
And until you do that, of course, there's no amount of compliments that you can get from somebody else that's going to really penetrate. Uh-oh. Nicole?
Uh-oh. Can y'all hear
Uh-oh.
me?
I can
Okay.
hear you. Yes.
There we
Okay.
go. We had some connection issues. Not sure what happened, but
Got it. Got it. Okay.
okay. Johnny, I think you are right. Thank you, Johnny. I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Yes.
We got Dr. Parks on. He is a psychologist out of Atlanta. He said, I used to be sexy. Now that I put on some pounds, I'm big sexy. All right, big sexy. Thank you for joining us tonight. So, so what I was going to say is that whole affirmation piece, I think that is very important.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I was going to, kind of poll the viewers. How many of you affirm yourself on a regular basis? How many of you affirm yourself? Let us know in the comments. Just give us a thumbs up or a heart or something and let us know. How many of you affirm yourself in a positive way, not a negative way, in a positive way on a regular basis? Let us know in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah. And I have to say, just even too, especially where it comes to weight, often that can be an issue. I know that during COVID, when I put on extra COVID weight, I then found myself not liking the pictures that I was taking. So I'm like, oh, okay, no. And or making some comment about that picture and then, or about, how I look in the picture. And then one day I just heard Spirit say very clearly, no, she is deserving of love. You do not get to do that. And I
Mm,
was like, you are beautiful, and you're beautiful. And I acknowledge what you've been through.
wow.
So I acknowledge what you're going through. So I had to change that because, at first I was going through the, just rejection of this ain't how I'm supposed to look. Like, no, this is, at this weight, you get to be loved, just like you were loved at another weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. We got folks commenting. Let's see if we can scroll back. Cousin Denise gave us some hearts. Felicia said not enough. Lynette said pick a night to wear sexy PJs, even if you're single. I do this as part of self-care. I have music and candles and all. I love it.
yes.
Great suggestion. Thank you for that, Lynette. She said, Jennifer said, I affirm myself regularly. All right, good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Sophia said yes to affirmations. Dante, thumbs up. All right. Cousin Raymond, thumbs up. Pumpkin, she raised the hand. All right. Sophia, need to affirm love my body more.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. I love it. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, you know, sex again as part of self-care and self-love. I think the affirmations that helps as well
Yeah.
to get you there, and that encourages you, I believe, to love yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's excellent.
The more you, it's almost like the more you say it, the more you start to believe it. So you get to start. I mean, initially, it may sound like, oh, I don't, I'm not really feeling these words, but
Mm,
you
mhm.
know, it's like with any, it's almost like you have to, what is it, fake it until you make it
Until you make it, yeah.
and start taking it on. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, Janetta is on. She said affirmations daily.
Hey,
Yes,
Janetta.
yes, 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 yes. Thank you for being here. All right, that's good. Good stuff. So, all right, we talked about some benefits, stress relief, pain relief, headaches or reduction of headaches, lower blood pressure, increase in emotional intimacy. Any other benefits?
Yes, I actually, so women that are experiencing lowered lubrication, the more you have sex, the more it can help with your lubrication. It
Okay.
also can help with urinary incontinence.
Really?
So, you know how we urinate just a little bit, maybe when you start getting older because you're losing some of that control.
Okay.
Also, it helps with bladder control. And one of the reasons why is because that PC muscle can become weak with lack of use. And the more we're using those muscles that are in your pelvic area, the more that the muscle is becoming stronger and you are bringing back that lubrication and reversing that incontinence and helping to control your bladder.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
yep. So having some trouble with leaking just a little bit, go have some sex.
Mm, right. Y'all heard that.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Lakarsha said, I got better with affirming myself now and being more comfortable with myself. Outstanding. That's excellent. Thank you for sharing. Adrian Young said, oh, wow. Okay. Not sure what she's saying. Oh, wow. Maybe to the bladder control or the
Right.
Yes, Adrian. She said it. So
I did say it.
help with the leakage. Go
Yeah.
have go have some sex. Have a session.
Yes. Yeah. So now, some of the ways that sex helps with emotions is it? Well, I mentioned reducing stress. It also helps with anxiety.
Okay.
So again, it's like that calming you down. It can
Okay.
boost your mood. We talked about that. Also, it can help with self-confidence. Because
Okay.
there's something about connecting with your body, and to me, almost like tapping into the power of your orgasm or just your what your body is capable of. That what we've seen people after they've had a good night, we
Mhm.
still see them at work the next day and they cheesing and they
They
grinning. We
go,
all know, yeah, and they have a glow. We
uh-huh.
all know. So how do we see that? We see what the impact is when somebody gets some.
Mhm.
And so how do we not understand how that they it's like they took a happy pill.
It is.
Exactly. If you had that in a bottle, you would be taking them every day.
Right. You
You
do.
you have it in your body. Right, exactly. You just
Oh,
yeah, right here. Right here. You just get to employ it. Yes.
right.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, 'cause we see the people with the happy pills like you must have got some last night. I
Mhm.
sure did.
Mhm.
Bouncing off of the walls.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so increase confidence. Lynette's laughing.
Right.
Mhm. Anything else?
Oh, couple things. It improves your cognitive health because it helps.
What?
Yes, it helps with your brain and with your ability to focus. Let me see. There's a study here. Um, it helps with your memory too. Let's
Wait
see.
a minute.
No, I'm trying to find what is it. Let's see. It's let's see. It found a connection between more frequent sexual activity and higher scores in tests focusing on working memory and executive function in older adults.
Mm. Wow. That's
Mhm.
interesting.
Janetta said, memory, wow. Yes.
Right. So the college students might need to
Well, yeah, well, they probably already doing it, but yes, they do.
before they take those midterms and those final exams. Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. Let's see. It says, let's see, they found that women who have more frequent sex have better recall of abstract words. So I don't know what that. This is again a study.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Now, another thing for men is that more sex, or actually more orgasms, they found a link between that and lower risk of prostate cancer.
Really?
So, men that actually orgasm at least 21 times or more a month tend to have a 21%, 20% less risk of prostate cancer than men who may be orgasm between 3 to 7 times a month.
What?
Yes, so it lowers your risk of prostate cancer.
But you gotta orgasm 21 times a month.
That's not that meant. That's not that often, or at least to me.
It's
That's
only
what.
it's
So
only
that's
30, it's only 30 days in the month.
right. Well, okay. So if you're talking, yeah. So you're talking about maybe 5 times a week. That's
Yeah.
not, and come on, for men, that's not a lot of times orgasm. That's how many times they're gonna do that. Like, yeah, that's not.
All right, 21 times per month. I'm putting that
Per
in my
month.
notes. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. Y'all heard that, men. They probably gonna
Right.
be quiet. They ain't gonna say nothing, but it's okay. Oh, Dante said yes.
He heard of that one. Yes.
He heard that one. Okay. All right. Mm,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. So many health
Many, many. All
benefits.
right. She Dante said that works on you.
Exactly. I'm trying to tell you all of the benefits.
That's
All of
it.
them.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Yes. Exactly.
Cool. So, what advice or recommendation would you give to someone that says, it's just not the same when I do it, you know?
Mm, got
Mhm,
it. Got it.
mhm,
Got it. Well, I would say that so it and it's not supposed to be the same when you do it.
mm,
That's a different activity. So there's an opportunity for it to be that I would say one is an opportunity not to try to compare the two.
mm.
One act is in and of itself what it is, and it gets to be enjoyed for what it is, and then the other is It's act. So I think trying to compare the two then somehow downplays or says that your own self pleasure is supposed to measure up to that. And then you
Mm,
get to that gets to have its own lane, and then you get to have the lane where this is something an activity that I do with a partner. It's like, I mean, yeah, like let's say you're playing music by yourself in the house. Yeah, you're having fun with that, but then it doesn't compare to a party. But you don't necessarily try to make it compare to a party. Those are two different activities. So
hmm,
they each kind of have its own place. But I would say more and more we get to enjoy self pleasure because one, it makes you way better for the act with a partner. It helps you learn more about your body. It helps you get more in contact with yourself. And I think it's really necessary just for us to do our own connecting. So, and it's possible for this to grow in and be a lot more beautiful or amazing and pleasurable. But we just haven't given it an opportunity.
hmm.
And
Okay.
I have to say that I would say that I agree. I used to agree with that person. When I was in my 20s, I thought, oh, I don't masturbate because, oh, excuse me, I don't self pleasure.
You can say that. It's
Okay, all right. I don't self pleasure because I'm like, I know it's me. I don't turn myself on. So I
fine.
used to dismiss it and say that that's not something that I do because I'm like, I don't get how I'm not going to get excited by myself.
Uh-huh.
And though I was in a relationship where it was like, okay, I need to figure this out because I wasn't having an orgasm and he was like pressuring me about it. So I got
Yeah.
a book and I followed the book to try to figure out how to have it happen. It happened. And I'm like, oh, I can do this.
Oh,
And
wow.
then evolved. We're not giving our self pleasure an opportunity to evolve.
Wow. Yeah,
Just
because I
like,
was,
yeah.
I was going to ask you, if you, since you thought like that at one point, what was the shift? And so
It got
after,
better.
yeah, and so after you look and masturbated and it got better, or you were able to do it, then did that cause you to be more curious or, expand more or, I don't know, I guess in terms of exploring yourself?
I don't think it didn't cause it in that moment. It wasn't like, oh, now I want to learn more. No, it was kind of like a means to its end in terms of being able to then have an orgasm with that partner.
Gotcha.
But eventually it's like, oh, let me try this toy. Oh, let me see this thing. Oh, wow, a shower head is amazing. And so it was, it was learning new and different ways and saying, oh my God, this is really good. So I think just like if you can imagine having sex with a partner for the first time, it
Mm,
may seem like okay, this was all right, but I don't think it was all it was cracked up to be. But then
right.
that in no way have you tapped into all that's possible with your body.
Mhm.
I would say the same thing with self pleasure. We have so much space that we haven't explored, and we get to give ourselves an opportunity to explore it.
Gotcha.
Have it be amazing.
Have it be amazing. All
Yes.
right, Johnny. Johnny is my curious one. He wants to know what title of the book.
And I mentioned this book. I think I have to go try to figure out how to find it. But I'm okay. So I am 54. I was 20, like 3 when I had this book. I do not remember what the
So
title of the book was.
Johnny, that was 31 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was just like a step by step. She specifically said, "Do this now, do this now, do this." But I do not recall. I don't, and I'm sure I don't even own that. No, I know I do not own that book.
Mhm.
So I have no idea what the title of that book was. So I'm sorry. People have asked me, so maybe I just need to make up a book
You do.
and say, "This is the book, and this is where you can get it in my in my
Mhm.
Amazon
Exactly. Get it
store."
off of Amazon for sure.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Sharice Du Bois is here. This is my high school classmate. She said, yes, the shower head is amazing.
Child, I
Mm,
spent my 20s in the shower. Like,
mm,
okay, I was never coming out. All
mm.
right, like, Sonia, when you coming out?
All right. So Johnny concurred. You need to do some writing. So Johnny, sound like you got a customer right there, Sonya.
Okay,
He's gonna buy
all
your
right.
book. All
Okay.
right. So Lakasha also said yes. All right. Very good. Well, this has been quite insightful. I'm going to give you an opportunity to provide any final comments for our viewers.
Got it. Okay. Well, one, I just want to say thank you for having me back. And I want to say, well, just what you said, Nicole, and that's we get to have these conversations offline, in person. That's what my brand Cocktails with a Sexologist is all about. It's like you and your friends and your crew. We get together. We have those conversations. I do classes. I teach everything that you could imagine.
Mhm.
And but I think that to me, these conversations help us normalize sex. They help us understand how natural it is, and it helps demystify and also remove some of the shame, because I believe that we get to work on that so we can now pass on to our children a more natural way of accepting sex and not having it be ashamed and pushed away.
Mm, love it.
So
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So other folks are chiming in. Yes, 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 yes. Janetta said shower head discovered by accident.
happy accident.
Right. Sophia wants to know, are you on Clubhouse?
I am not. Our podcast is on Facebook and on YouTube. It's Grown Ass Women Shit, and we stream every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. But we started out on Clubhouse, but we wound up moving it to Facebook because we found that that's where our the older heads were. So,
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. All right. And your contact information is scrolling across the bottom. Her number is there, as well as the IG hashtag, and for both, for your personal and for the
and
podcast.
for the podcast, and please check us out. We and my co-host actually is she is a wealth coach, and so she breaks down all the stuff that you need to do about your money, and
Mhm.
so we really getting some very powerful conversations on the show.
Indeed. And when are you on again?
We're on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So actually the show aired just a little while ago. And then we said at the end of the show, okay, now go over and
You're
check
right,
out Nicole.
right, right,
Yes.
right, right.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. And you all pre-record, right?
Well, we do a combination of going live and pre-record.
Okay.
Yeah. We used to go all of the shows up until now were all live. And then we just recently were like, whew, need a break. So we've been doing a combination.
Okay, cool. Well, hopefully you all have found this helpful. Several of you are chiming in right now. Great show, great job. Appreciate that. If you have liked it, if you have enjoyed this conversation, let us know in the comments. Let us know, and we want to keep this conversation going. As Sonia B said, let's talk about this. Let's talk about
Yes.
it amongst our friends and our circles, with family members potentially, or with our girls or with our guys or whatever the case may be. So, you may help somebody, to be quite honest with you. Maybe they are thinking about sex in a more restrictive way.
Yeah.
And this may open them up so that they aren't as cranky. So they, they aren't as depressed or anxious, or,
Right.
these other things. So just something to consider.
Exactly. Just change the world.
Change the world on this
Yes.
Wellness Wednesday.
Yes.
Indeed. All right. Dante said he enjoyed it. Tarek, appreciate you, ladies. We appreciate you too. Thank you for tuning in. So, again, for those of you who are new to Conversations with Nicole, Wellness Wednesday, and Mindset Monday, we're here Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. talking about mental health and wellness in Black and Brown communities, trying to eliminate the stigma around counseling and therapy, and encouraging us to get our checkup from the neck up. All right, LaCarsha, we appreciate you being on here. So, Sonya B, look, I could have you on here every month, but
I know, right?
I know you got other stuff to do. But I'm a listen. You all be on the lookout here in Tallahassee. We about to have this Poom Poom party on April 23rd, which is National Vagina Appreciation Day. And so I was hoping my flyers were going to be ready today. They still may be. I'm still working to get it finalized, but we will get some information out about that, like, before the week is out. So listen up, because it's gonna be good, and Sonya B is on the docket to present for that event. So looking forward to it. And I appreciate all of you all for tuning in and for your engagement tonight. That really means a lot. So thank you for the interaction. And thank you, Sonya B, for joining me again. Look, We had you at the beginning of the month, and you were able to turn that thing around and join us again. So I really, really do appreciate you being my guest. So thank you. Oh, look, my mom talking about comeback.
I would love to come back.
You'll have to
So
come up
thank you.
here and come to one of our sessions when we do the a live event. So yes.
Yes, I would love that.
Okay, good deal. All
All
right.
right.
So they are commented. Johnny said benefits. Listen, I want to get that benefits list because we need to put that on
Okay.
social media. So yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. All right.
All right. Y'all have a good night and we'll see y'all next time.